Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video where we turn damaged into perfect. Her journey leads her to an overturned truck, a forgotten wreck half buried under a tangled mess of branches and debris. Without hesitation, she sets down her basket and begins the arduous task of clearing the wreckage, single-handedly pulling away thick branches and tangled vines to reveal the vehicle's rusty undercarriage. Realizing the job requires more power, she leaves and returns, now confidently driving a small green tractor. She's not alone this time. A friend has joined her to help with the recovery. Together they unload their gear from the basket, chains, straps, and a hand-operated winch. They strategically attached a heavy chain to the truck's frame and anchor the winch to the tractor. With teamwork and immense effort, they began operating the winch. One woman pulls the lever repeatedly, muscles straining. As the thick chain slowly tightens, the overturned truck groans and begins to shift. Inch by inch, it rises from its side until with a final heavy thud, it lands upright on its four wheels. Their work isn't over. They discovered the tires are flat. Using a manual pump, they take turns laboriously forcing air back into the rubber. Once the tires are inflated, they rig a heavy-duty tow strap between the two vehicles. The first woman climbs aboard the tractor, while her friend takes the wheel of the rescued truck to steer. The tractor's engine roars to life, and it carefully pulls the damaged truck from the ditch, successfully completing their incredible recovery mission. With great determination, the skilled woman set about repairing the exposed engine of a truck, leaving only the chassis. Wearing protective gloves, she confidently used a power tool to loosen and remove the starter motor, carefully disconnecting the wires and hoses. She then turned her attention to the damaged fuel line. She carefully inspected the hose, and with a quick flick of the lighter, she heated the end of the hose to make it more flexible before firmly reattaching it to the fuel filter. Every part was meticulously inspected and reconnected, ensuring the fuel system was sealed and functioning properly. Stepping inside the dismantled cabin, she lifted a metal plate from the floor to access the top of the engine. She took a moment to check the fluids, pulling out the dipstick before pouring new oil directly into the engine block. When satisfied, she replaced the access plate in place. She slid behind the wheel, turned the key, and the engine roared to life, a successful repair. Now the reassembly began. She brought the driver's seat over, deftly maneuvering it into the cab and using a power driver to bolt it to the floor. The passenger seat and center console followed, quickly transforming the empty interior into a functional space. With the interior complete, she moved on to the exterior, fitting the green bumper to the red cab and attaching the license plate. Soon, friends arrived to help with the heaviest part, the truck bed. Together, the group carefully lifted the large green bed, aligned it to the frame, and lowered it into place. She climbed into the truck, using a drill to fasten the bed to the chassis. Finally, she attached the tailgate, completing the incredible transformation. The once dismantled vehicle was now a fully functional truck, a testament to her skill and hard work. The woman discovers a blue car submerged in a murky river, a clear victim of a recent flood. The vehicle is almost completely buried under a heavy blanket of tangled branches, leaves, and river debris. Undaunted, she immediately begins the immense task of clearing the wreckage, wading into the water and single-handedly pulling heaps of sodden branches off the hood and roof. She opens the door to reveal an interior filled with muddy water and decaying leaves, which she starts scooping out by hand. Realizing the job is too much to handle alone, she sits on a nearby rock and makes a phone call. Soon after, help arrives in the form of a man driving a powerful red tractor with a large trailer. He skillfully maneuvers the heavy machine down a rugged path and positions it in the river. Together, they get to work, wading into the water to attach a thick, red tow strap from the tractor to the front of the stranded car. With the woman behind the wheel of the wrecked car to steer, the tractor's engine roars. Its large tires churn through the water, and with immense power, it slowly but steadily pulls the blue car from the river's muddy grasp. The rescue continues as the tractor tows the battered vehicle up a steep, muddy road and back to a village. Once there, the real cleanup begins. The woman tirelessly works, determined to bring the flood-damaged car back to life. The resourceful woman took on the challenging task of restoring an old red car that had clearly seen better days. The car was in poor condition, the interior covered in dirt. Her first step was to clean the entire interior. She single-handedly removed the entire back seat, lifting out the dirty cushions and backrest to expose the bare, filthy floor underneath. After removing the seats, she painstakingly swept away years of accumulated dirt, straw, and debris. Taking the dirty parts outside, she used a pressure washer to blast away stubborn dirt from the seat cushions and floor mats. The powerful jet of water cut through the layers of dirt, exposing the fabric underneath. But cleaning was only half the battle. The car refused to start. She popped the hood and began diagnosing. First, she installed a new battery, carefully connecting the terminals. When the engine still wouldn't turn over properly, she pulled out her tool bag, proving she was more than just a cleaner. Undeterred, she dug into the engine compartment, deftly identifying the problem and reconnecting a series of crucial wires to the alternator. With the electrical issue fixed, she got back into the driver's seat and tried starting it again. This time, after a small pop, the engine roared to life, billowing smoke as if waking up from a long slumber. Her job was almost done. She reinstalled the air filter assembly and then attached the bright yellow replacement grille to the front, a clear sign that the car's transformation was underway. After tightening the final bolts, she lowered the hood, then reinstalled the floor and seats, climbed in, and fired up her project. A resounding success. The car was ready to roll, and we thank you for sticking around until the end of the video.